Have you ever been made redundant? How do you bounce back or pivot, as the buzzword seems to be these days, from a redundancy? Craig McAlpine is from My Career Brand and joins us live this morning. Craig, good morning.
Good morning, Ryan.
Have you ever had to pivot? You know, this word, everyone loves a buzzword, don't they? But have you ever had to pivot?
I'm probably a prime example. 3 times I've had my role disestablished, and each time I've drawn on my experience and pivoted with that.
To a completely different industry or a different role or what?
Yes, or a tangential industry, but one where I've been able to bring my strengths and skills and experience to be able to address the organisation's needs.
So what sort of advice would you give to people who might be in this position?
Yeah, well, first of all, I think there's 3 things you really need to think about when you're having your role disestablished. Is 1, understand that it's not about you. The organisation has had to pivot themselves, often because they've changed technology, product sets, clients and so on. Secondly is have your story right. Okay, so understand when you're having a conversation with a recruiter or a hiring manager, what happened in your organisation, why your role was disestablished and what you want to do next. And then understand what their organisation or the organisation that you're interviewing with needs. So have your value proposition aligned to that.
Craig, you say it's not about you, but sometimes, sometimes you look around and you suspect. You know, if everyone gets fired, I get it. But if there's just 1 or 2 and everyone's like, oh, you know who it is, it's Jill. Ooh. And you can't, Jill might just be a bit bad at her job.
What I would prefer to say with that is that Jill's alignment with the role that is actually required in that organisation is not necessarily where Jill needs to be. So that in itself is an indicator to Jill on what she could be doing next. So for example, I had a client come to me several years ago saying he wanted to be in 3rd level support again. Sorry, 1st level support. He was wanting a role in 1st level support. He just had his role disestablished. What did he think was going to happen the next time around?
Yeah.
So think really carefully. Yes, I agree with you. Sometimes it can be about the person, but generally we do find that it is about the role rather than the person.
What about retraining? What advice do you give people about retraining into a different role or a different industry?
Yes, and I wrote a post a couple of weeks ago about this, and it's on LinkedIn, and it was about making sure that you understand what the sector needs are, understand what is required out there. The way I look at it is that your employment is a business. You just happen to have 1 client. Most businesses will understand what their client needs are, and they'll resource themselves effectively for that. So look at who your clients will be, your employers, and then go out looking for how you're going to resource yourself with training.
Craig, what's the popular pivot job at the moment? What's everyone wanting to do or wanting to pivot towards?
It's a really good question. We're seeing an uplift in most sectors now, but I think on front of mind for most people is how am I going to use AI? So how is my role been impacted by AI, and how do I address that? If they're not thinking about that, then they should be.
Appreciate your time this morning as always, Craig. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Craig McAlpine with us, My Career Brand.